Do you know that the story of Frankenstein was not born from fantasy, but from real experiments, real corpses, and a real fear that humans were crossing a line they could never return from? 1816 near Lake Geneva, Switzerland. A strange darkness covered Europe. Crops failed, skies stayed gray, and storms rolled endlessly. Inside a villa near the lake, a young woman named Mary Shelley listened as educated men spoke about electricity, life, and whether death was truly final. These conversations planted a thought that would never leave her mind. That night, Mary experienced what she later described as a waking nightmare. She saw a lifeless body stretched on a table. She saw a machine nearby. Then she saw the body stir, not gently but unnaturally. She woke in terror, believing she had glimpsed something humans were never meant to create. That vision became Frankenstein. But what makes this story disturbing is that the science behind it already existed. In the late 1700s, Europe was obsessed with the idea of reanimation. Scientists believed electricity might be the missing force between death and life. Luigi Galvani discovered that electric currents could make dead frog legs twitch. To many, this suggested that life itself might be restarted. His nephew, Giovanni Aldini, took it further. In public demonstrations, Aldini applied electrical currents to freshly executed human corpses. Witnesses described jaws snapping shut, eyes opening, arms lifting, and fingers curling. Some people screamed, others fainted. One observer reportedly suffered a fatal shock days later. To the crowd, it looked like the dead were trying to rise. These events were widely reported and discussed. Mary Shelley knew about them. In her novel, the creature is not a mindless killer. He is aware. He feels pain. He feels loneliness. He seeks acceptance. The violence comes only after he is rejected by everyone, including the man who created him. The true horror was never the monster. It was the act of creation without responsibility. Frankenstein reflected a real fear of the era. Scientists unlocking forces they did not fully understand, then walking away from the consequences. Bodies were stolen from graves. Anatomy labs worked through the night. Death was no longer sacred. It was experimental. There was no documented, stitched-together giant roaming the countryside. But the idea that dead flesh could be made to move, to react, to imitate life, was real. People saw it with their own eyes. That is why Frankenstein still haunts us today. It was not a warning about monsters. It was a warning about human ambition. The creature was never the villain. The real danger stood beside the table, holding the power switch.